Now we'll be talking about regression analysis. We'll be focusing mainly on the multiple regression and exploratory factor analysis, data normality test, and t-test. In t-test, we'll be conducting two t-tests. The one is one sample t-test and another one is independent sample t-test or two sample t-test. So before starting, I just want to give you a tips. That is, whenever I don't know how many of you have the SPSS software, because whenever you will be downloading it from the IBM website, they will give you access a trial version for 14 or 28 days. I'm not sure about that. Maybe for 28 days you will get the access. After that you have to purchase it, but those are really very costly. As a student, it is really costly. So that's why we always prefer the cracked version of SPSS. So whenever we will be searching on Google cracked version of SPSS, there will be thousands of results. 80% of them are fake. And even whenever you will be searching on YouTube, you will be getting maybe 500 videos on how to download or how to get the SPSS for free, the cracked version. Here also 70 to 80% are fake. That doesn't work. That don't work. So what you have to do? You have to just use the simple tricks. Whenever you will be searching on YouTube, just use the filter option. In filter option, there is a particular tab named uploaded on. So make it this month only. So you will get all the recently uploaded videos. And maybe I have installed 3 to 4 times SPSS in my laptop. So every time I use the trick and it really works. So if you want to download it, you can go through the YouTube and search it for SPSS cracked version. And after doing the filtering, you can download it easily. Because just follow their step, because there will be something like extracting anything, like many things are there. So those who are, not expert in, technology like me, so those people face little bit issues while installing, extracting SPSS software. Okay, so let's get back to our topic. Now our topic is regression analysis. We will be focusing mainly on the multiple regression. So regression analysis, it is a statistical technique for analyzing and comprehending the connection between two or more variables of interest. It will be the methodology used to do regression analysis aids in understanding which elements are significant, which may be ignored, and how they interact with one another. Okay, like whenever we'll be doing the hypothesis test, regression analysis is a way to do the hypothesis test, because it will be showing you the result of the connection between two variables, whether their association is significant or not. Okay, and if there is too many independent variable, then that time also it will be showing which independent variables is having a strong relation with the dependent variable. So there are two types of regression analysis. One is linear, another is logistic. Usually we use the linear regression analysis. In linear also, there are two types: the simple linear regression analysis and another is multiple linear regression analysis, named as multiple regression. So simple linear regression is a statistical method that allows us to summarize the study relationship between two variables. Listen, there will be two variables in simple linear regression. One will be independent, another will be dependent. One variable, it can be denoted as X, is regarded as the predictor or explanatory. There are two words, the predictor and explanatory. That two words are the synonym of independent variable. You can consider those you can consider the independent variable as predictor as well as explanatory, and the other variable will be denoted as y. There will be a sort of chart and all. It is regarded as the response, outcome, or dependent variable. Okay, so in simple linear regression, there will be one relationship between one independent variable and one dependent variable. So we will be focused on the multiple regression because that is using widely in each of your work, even in article. In many of your article, while doing the hypothesis testing, you have to apply that for hypothesis test in particular reason. Whenever you will be asking, whenever you will be looking for to get the significant result, whether is there any association, is there any relationship. Okay, so that time you have to do the multiple regression analysis to check the relationship and the association between the independent variable with two or more dependent variables. And things to remember, whenever you'll be doing the multiple regression, that time you have to focus on two factors, that is p value, and another one is t value. P value will show you the significance and it should be less than 0.05, and t value it should be more than 1.96. So let's do it in SPSS. Just click on analyze. Which one? Here, regression analysis. Just click on the linear regression. Okay, the linear regression. Here in the left side, there is the all variables and items, and the right side there is few more options like dependent, independent, selection variables, case level, all. So what you have to do, you have to choose a dependent variable. So in our study, what was the dependent variable? It was repurchase intention. So click that and take it as the dependent variable. An independent variable was BP and SQ. Just take it as the independent variable. Just click on statistics, confidence level. Click on confidence interval level because it will be showing you the 95%, the value with 95% of confidence. Click OK. Plots. Okay, no need to do any plots. Just click on OK. So here is the result of the regression analysis. This is the output. The first is variables entered and removed. So just look at that. The dependent variable is RI, that means repurchase intention, and the variables entered, I mean the independent variable, that is SQ and BP, service quality and variety of product. So look at the model summary. Model summary will be showing you how fit it is. I mean, by those predictors in the by those independent variable. How much it predict a dependent variable? If the dependent variable is repurchase intention, then based on the independent variable, how much it can be predicted. Okay, so as the result is showing 1, that means maybe they actually I have used the dummy data set, that's why those results are showing that type. So as the R is 1 and R square is 1, exists R square is 1, there is no estimate error, standard error, there is no error. Okay, so it means by my two independent variable, my dependent variable can be predicted 100%. If it was 89, that means 89%. 89% of my dependent variable can be predicted by my independent variable. So here in my case, it is 1. That means 100% of my dependent variable can be predicted by the independent variable. You have to write that thing in your article while doing the interpretation. So just ask me if there is any doubt in the model summary.
So one more thing, I mean, when you insert the data, I mean, analyze, then regression, you use the mean value, right?
Yes, I is the mean value.
Mean value of dependent and independent.
Dependent and independent variable, because I had to transform compute variable to all the measurement into mean. Okay, if there is no question in model summary, let's go to ANOVA. So in ANOVA, the significance value is blank, but there should be 0.00. So while the significance is 0.00, that means the model is good enough. The ANOVA point is significant. So you can go with the analysis. Okay. So I don't know why it is not showing that. It should be, there should be some sort of values. Maybe due to the, I mean, what the data set I'm using, that is totally man-made data set, totally dummy data set. That's why maybe it is showing like that. But there should be a kind sort of point value like 0.00 here. Here the significance 0.00 and all. Okay, let's do the analysis again. There are some issues. I'm sorry for the inconvenience. I don't know why it's showing like that.
Sir, I think that's okay. We can understand the things. So maybe based on the data you can explain.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenience. I really don't
It's
know.
okay. It's totally fine. It's totally fine. It's totally fine.
Yesterday, I just tried once, but that time it was working with the data. Okay, I'm just giving you a brief idea. And in ANOVA, you have to look at that the value of that significant. Okay, and it should be less than 0.05. And if the value is more than 0.005, that means there is insignificant. Okay, but the main important factor is that coefficient table. How can I explain without any data? It's really too pathetic.
I think what you can do is you can just take one independent variable and then one dependent variable without taking mean value. For example. Yes.
Yeah, it is showing.
Now
Okay. Finally, I don't know what happens with that value.
Something wrong there. So
maybe something wrong there. And thank you for the kind information. Okay, so we can start again. So in independent in the first part, here is the variable centered. That means the dependent variable was BP and independent was ROI. And the model summary is saying the R value is 0.454 and R square is 0.206, adjusted is 0.202. That means the model is very weak. the model I have created, that is very weak because the R square value, that R square value closer to 1, it will show you how strong your model is. As the value is 0.206, it is explaining that only 20% of your dependent variable can be predicted by the independent variable. Okay. And you can take the adjusted R square as well. That is, adjusted R square is the refined form of R square. So it means only 20% of your dependent variable can be predicted by the independent variable, and it is really too low for the model fit. And here is the ANOVA. I was talking about that value. The significant should be less than 0.05. And the main important part is the coefficient value. This is all about. In coefficient, the dependent variable is BP, and here is the independent variable. The independent variable is showing its value on dependent variable. Just look at the significance, the p-value. The p-value, the significance is also known as the p-value. So p-value is 0.000. That means it is less than 0.05. That means our hypothesis, we can say that the hypothesis we have developed, it is accepted. Another thing is t-value. Whenever the t-value is more than 1.96, that time also you can accept the hypothesis, but sometimes it may happen that t-value can be less than 1.96. That time what you have to do, you have to give the proper justification for that, and you can refer a few more papers, few more articles. There are some sort of justification in terms of if the p-value is less than 1.96 and significance is less than 0.05. So you can ask your queries regarding the regression, multiple regression. If there is any queries regarding multiple regression, you can ask. Okay, I forget to tell you one thing, that is the unstandardized B. So it will be showing you that beta B value will show you how strongly the independent variable is associated with the dependent variable. It will show you the exact result. If there is few more independent variable, like if there is RI, SQ, whatever, the value, beta value will be different. Some could be 0.45, some could be 0.54, some could be 0.7. So those, the beta value who is having the independent variable who is having the beta value more, it is showing that it is having a good relation, good association with the dependent variable, and a strong association apart in comparison with the other independent variable.
So I have a question. In the beta value, so usually I saw some are accepting standard coefficient.
No, sir, there is no kind of sort of any value from my best knowledge. It is just showing how strongly how strong the relationship is.
Okay, so some was in their explanation, some mention unstandardized, some accept unstandardized, some accept standardized. So is there anything, any instruction on which one to accept?
I guess we can go with the standardized coefficient.
Okay.
Because SPSS is full of bias. There are so many bias in regression analysis and all, because there are some prominent researcher, like prominent researcher who works on the methodology part. I know someone from Pakistan, Mumtaz Ali Menon. He has some argument there is another researcher here. He updates his book every year version. So he has some argument. So we can go with those argument which is widely accepted. And end of the day, we are not the statistician. We have to follow their footwork. So someone is was trying to ask you something.
That one is me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so after I find the model and the coefficient, after I do the regression analysis, my question is like, I can do the data analysis, but when I go to the imply in the paper, or I go to the explanations to the data, that's the time I couldn't like reach my level. And on the circumstance, what can I do? Like, how can I imply this model to the paper, and what is important?
I mean, you are talking about the interpretation and how you can.
How I can design it in my paper, or maybe I can imply. And what is the importance of this part?
Okay. Regression, we always do regression for testing the hypothesis. Like in our paper, we have developed two hypotheses. The first one was there is a significant relationship between variety of product and repurchase intention. Okay. And the second hypothesis was there is a significant relationship between service quality and repurchase intention from e-commerce platform. So just look at the framework. I have to identify and find out whether the hypothesis that I have stated, it is acceptable or we can reject it. If it's acceptable, that means we can say that there is a significant relation between the variety of products and repurchase intention, which means if the e-commerce platform is having so many types of brands, products, that will influence the consumer to revisit that place, to repurchase from that platform. If the e-commerce platform provide you a good service, that will influence the consumer to visit that platform or to purchase from that platform. So for giving the justification or checking whether our hypothesis accepted or rejected, we have to do the regression analysis.
Okay, got it. So like, except the regression analysis, I think for the testing the validity of the hypothesis, we can do the hypothesis testing. As I know, like, is it null hypothesis or something like that?
Null hypothesis and all. Whenever we'll be doing the t-test, that time I will be giving you a short example about null hypothesis and all. But the null hypothesis, if you talk about the empirical paper of the recent ages, the hypothesis is one directional. Okay, and they don't care about the null hypothesis. They just go with the alternate hypothesis. Like the paper I was showing to you. See, the hypothesis test. Okay, CUS, CFS. CUS was just assume CUS was consumer. CUS was anything like hygiene of consumer use. Okay, if it is an independent variable, and if you are predicting the relationship between that hygiene of consumer use and the consumer fear of COVID-19. Okay, this is the first hypothesis. Here is the coefficient estimates, t-value, and the rest of the things. So from that, they haven't developed any sort of null hypothesis. They just developed the alternate hypothesis, and this is the way the present researcher work. The practice of null hypothesis, it was maybe in the past decade, and from my best knowledge, people don't use null hypothesis in the recent ages.
Okay, got it. Just take the knowledge from the alternative hypothesis and then do the measure.
Yes. You have to, like, whenever you will be developing developing the hypothesis, I guess there are some sort of videos in BRBD YouTube channel, how to develop the hypothesis and all. That time you can develop the hypothesis and you can state like it is not possible for me to state without any justification that there is a relation between customer purchase intention and service quality. For that, I have to give the proper justification from the previous paper. I have to provide the evidence like
reference list.
I mean proper evidence in the sense like suppose X 2019 stated that there is a relationship between service quality and repurchase intention. Y 2019 mentioned that the repurchase intention of the repurchase intention of the consumer are influenced by the service quality that they get from any sort of organization and all. So I have to give the evidence of all those things, and lastly I can mention. So hence, therefore, we can propose our hypothesis that there is a significant relation. There is a positive relation, or there is an association between that service quality and the repurchase intention.
Got it, sir. Got it. Thanks for your good explanation. Got it.
So, any question from the regression analysis, multiple regression?
Okay. Sir,
yes, sir.
Another question. Like, yes, so we can do the hypothesis by the two way. One is the testing the t-test. Another one is that do the.
No, there are so many things. There are so many things to test the hypothesis. Like t-test is there, maybe ANOVA is there, and there are so many things are there to test the hypothesis. Okay, it will be based on the question. It will be based on your research question. How you will be doing the hypothesis test. Because here I am just looking for the relationship, the association between the independent variables and the dependent variables. That's why I'm using the multiple regression. Later on, I will be, whenever I'll be explaining the t-test, that time you will get some idea. There is some question, you'll get some idea how to do t-test and all, and why I will be using that.
Got it, sir. Got it. Thank you so much, sir. You can continue. I took the long time.
Okay, there was a question. What is the sum of okay, squares? Or it is. So I'm really sorry, sir. Those are very basic statistical question, and that can be only analyzed through the expert of that field and the statistician. We just implement all those things. But if you provide me some time, I can find out the question for you. So here we are talking about only those things which we have to implement, what we have to apply in our study, what we have to interpret.